like, it's a matter of personal preference, but I would never attack move if it's going to cause you to miss an auto on somebody like that, because it's just not worth it. Like, I would just left click instead of attack moving. I would attack move specifically in situations where there's no creeps to get in the way of your attack move and cause you to switch aggro onto someone. But I mean, it's a matter of personal preference. But if you're comfortable just left clicking in lane like this when there's a ton of creeps around, I would just do that. Alright, so your Morgana shouldn't be going into trade right here. And if the Leona were smart, she would just turn right back around onto you after Morgana block shielded herself. But that's on your support. That's nothing you can do about that except for maybe dodge the Leona E with your tumble. The nice thing about this lane now is if you look at Caitlyn's items, she has nothing on you. Like, you can trade pretty much at will. Like, I would shove this lane into tower right now as fast as you can and recognize the fact that she's either backing or well, she has to back. So what you accomplish by shoving the wave into tower is you either stop her from backing, or if she backs, she misses out on a ton of creeps, and if she doesn't back, the wave will reset if you shove it fast enough in the middle, and then you have definite kill pressure on her. Like, with your items, you can basically just initiate an all-in onto the Caitlyn, and the Leona can't do much to stop you, especially since you have cleanse. And if hopefully your support would follow up, but that again is on your support. That was a nice binding, but I mean, it was so far back that you had no opportunity. You maybe could have gotten a free auto in there, but at best, like, you might have taken a tower shot if you hadn't gotten far enough back or tumbled back out. So, like, it was a good decision to not go. There you probably had time to auto that backline creep and then tumble to get the cannon creep, but then again, that's a matter of personal preference. Like, okay, the other thing, your Morgana should not be backing right now, and I would stop her from backing since she has a sightstone and you have kill pressure in this lane right now. You need to ask her to help you shove up because you want to have this wave push into tower 100% of the time as long as you have ward coverage. Which you should have seen the Vi in the ward right there, and I don't think you're going to die for it. You saw her fast enough. Okay, I'm just gonna pause. Right there, you didn't need to stand still, and I don't know if it was lag or whatever, but I would have just kept running away from the Vi, because she wasn't yet in tower range, she was about right here, and so there's no chance of you condemning her into a wall and getting a free kill. You didn't need to stand still. Like, I would just, especially since there's 3 people and 2 of them have a way to engage on you super hard, and Caitlyn can hit you from range outside of tower range. Like, I wouldn't even mess with that at all. I would just get out basically, because you have tumble and you have the ability to get out. But I'm excited to see how you play this. You're probably just gonna get bursted, but that was good. Oh, that sucks. The other thing you could have done there is, you could have ulted a little earlier. Like, if you're gonna play that game with Vi, you want to have your ult already ready, because you have the chance to, like, if you were originally standing still to try to condemn her, what you could have done is you could have just ulted, tumbled forward, and then condemned her into the wall. But just make sure, like, to pop your ult as soon as you think that there's going to be pressure on you, because right there, if you'd popped your ult, you would have been invisible for a couple seconds, maybe gotten auto on that Caitlyn, and either lived and killed her because of the tower, or just lived, which is better than her getting executed and you dying. Especially in this case, since you dying means that this huge wave right here gets shoved into your tower. That's just a lot of gold. Which your Morgana should be last hitting right now, to be fair. And actually, if your Morgana were smart and gotten back fast enough, she could have just froze the wave for you right here and eaten some damage from creeps, but it would have saved you about 200, 300 gold on missed creeps. Probably just 200. But otherwise, the Caitlyn came back to lane with a Bloodthirster, and you came back to lane with Boots too, which I think is a good decision on your part. because you need to be getting in and out of fights and dodging Leona E's and Caitlyn Q's as much as you can. But just be aware that going boots 2 means that you don't have a lot of kill pressure in this lane unless you get ganks, and that was a pretty bad gank by that Nocturne. But you're doing a good job here of trading with this Caitlyn, because you have kill pressure against the Caitlyn alone, even though she has Bloodthirster, but you don't have any kill pressure when Leona is there. And right there, you probably should have been aware that going that far forward in the lane against like these 3 people who all have kill pressure, and you Vi with her ulti and Leona with her ulti and EQ, is just not worth it. Because even if you do, like, you have to be aware that the Caitlyn has summoners still. Well, it says her heal is off cooldown, which I thought she just burned it there. So maybe it was the right thing to do. But she always has her net, which means that there's a very slim chance of you killing her. But if you go that far forward, you're putting yourself in danger of just getting engaged on. And especially since you're not like super powered up Vayne who's just 3-shotting people, just be aware of your own power level and the fact that you can't just go kill the Caitlyn outright no matter what she does fast enough for these people up here who are coming down the lane not to converge on you. And I don't know why this Morgana roam down here. They should probably be. I guess they're trying to dive, but this isn't really on you. And your Morgana should not have stayed there. They should have. They should have just given. She should have just given up that tower. That was not worth her death because the tower was going down anyway, since they rotated Orianna there. And also, the Morgana dying means, I mean, the dragon probably would have been free anyway, but the Morgana dying means an extra death and a definite dragon, because, I mean, she could have messed with them a little bit or slowed it down. I don't know if your Nocturne's AFK or what, but yeah, okay, so back to you. What you should be doing here is, and I'm going to show you why. What you should be doing here is freezing. You should freeze this lane right here because they just took this tower and they just took dragon and then they already had mid tower down, which means they have really no objective on the map to group in pressure in the immediate future. And if you freeze right here if you just last hit creeps right here, you can guarantee safe farming and not pushing up at all, and also you can deny the Caitlyn some creeps by freezing here. At this point, like, it's a good thing to do when you're behind and the other team has no immediate objectives that they can pressure on the map that will require your presence. But, like, say mid-tower was still up, you wouldn't want to freeze, you would want to shove this out as fast as you could and get there, because that's where their bot lane is likely going. But right now, you should be freezing. And also freezing makes lasting a little easier, I think. Also, at this point, good thing, just help out your teammates. Your Kayle doesn't have a trinket yet, and your Morgana, after buying Sightstone, should have sold her warding totem and bought a sweeper, just because that's what you do. It gives you the ability to deny the enemy bot lane vision, and so just as a rule of thumb, let them know. Just let them know that they are messing up or what they should be doing. Like, nicely, obviously, but it's still worth doing because it can save you some headaches. But you're doing a good thing right now, continuing to farm in this lane. Just be aware that when you get past river right here where your ward is, that their bot lane can be sneaking up on you. And so you should have trinket warded at that right there, just to make sure that you are not getting snuck up on. Yeah, just make sure that if you're farming past a place where you're inherently going to be denied vision, like if you're farming anywhere near here and you don't have vision in this brush, just be aware that if you don't see the other team on the map, people generally like to just, if they see the ADC farming alone, come destroy them, and that's like especially lower elos, like that's what people are going to be tunneling on. So just be aware that if you're farming in somewhere where you don't have immediate vision and people could be coming, just be aware that you need to get a ward down there. Because if you had stayed alive, then this fight, A, might not have happened, but B, you probably would have destroyed these guys. But yeah, the unfortunate thing about the rest of this game, your Morgana should have flashed backward there. The unfortunate thing about the rest of this game is that you guys are so far behind that like the other team can expend all their gold. Okay, good job right here. You ignored the Leona and went and killed the Orianna, which was the higher damage threat in this scenario, and that was a good job. But also, you might not have needed to burn Condemn in order to kill the Orianna. Like, if you could have gotten that last shot on her, you could have saved Condemn to condemn the Leona and possibly secure a kill with the red buff. So just be aware that you need to not expend your cooldowns frivolously, just because if you can, just because it's overkill. Like, if you can kill someone without having to waste a cooldown on an ability, then don't use it. But that was overall really nicely played by you, and you get the kill anyway, which was good. So, yeah, so that's good. I thought you weren't going to be able to catch her, but I guess Vayne and red buff, or Vayne chasing someone with red buff is good, or is always pretty much a guaranteed kill. I don't know if you time objectives, but you guys had sight of that dragon being taken, I think, and so just time the objective in chat. Or download Curse Voice if you have a beta key, because that's just really helpful, especially since dragons basically win games these days. And like usually the games that I win via the bot lane are because if you snowball bot lane, take towers and push them up into their and kill them and push them up into their tower, that means you can call your jungler down and take free dragons. That was a smart decision by you to go take wolves, because it's the only, or the wolves in white, because it's the only gold that's on the map available to you to farm right now, and then also a good decision to back. But yeah, so make sure to always be like acquiring gold somehow, especially as an AD carry who scales really hard like Vayne. Like, just if you have the opportunity to acquire gold, do it. Like, because there was nothing for you to farm safely, so that was a good job going into your jungle. And overall, your team is playing rather poorly, and they're making some pretty silly decisions, but you're playing pretty well. Like, you're even, and you're not down by that much CS, especially given the amount of pressure that the other team has put bottom lane. That was good. So this again, I mean, I know nothing is happening to you and nothing is probably going to happen to you, but this again is an example of where you have to worry about someone sneaking into this brush right here, or someone sneaking into this brush right here, since you don't have vision of this whole area. And you do a good job of backing off right there, since you know that you can't freely go pressure this tower without potentially being killed. That was smart. And I would just definitely go back to farming Nocturne's jungle, just because, I mean, it's pretty much 6-1. Like, he needs the jungle camps to get his Feral Flare, but extra gold on Vayne I think is always good. I wouldn't take the wolves right here, probably, just because he needs them, and also because you can be middle. That was good of you to blow your ult right there. That was smart. But one thing you should be aware of is, as an AD carry, like, you have Nocturne to tank for you, and you don't need to be in the outset of that. You didn't need to be close enough to get Orianna ulted. Like, you could have been autoing from further away. But all in all, that was really good. And this was a good job of saving your condemn to condemn not the Orianna, but to condemn the Leona. I think, is that Leona? No, it's Sion. To condemn the Sion. That was a good job. And right now, you see the Caitlyn ult on you, but it's not like immediate pressure. But I would notice that the Caitlyn ult is on you, and start, after killing the Sion, start moving this direction. Because you don't know you don't know where the Vi is, and you know that the Caitlyn is behind you that way, and just start moving this direction so that your frontliners can be in the way of you and the next newest threat to killing you.